logic.
Let me ask you the stated objective, I don't know officially, but certainly policymakers and lawmakers say it, is to kill Putin or knock him out of his position, to get rid of Putin. I know you don't live in Russia and you don't know Putin, but as someone who knows the country, what would happen if Putin disappeared tomorrow?
Firstly, I live in the country, and I consider myself Russian.
Yes.
And so it's not correct to say that I'm not living in the country.
Oh, you're not? Okay, great.
Yeah, so for the last 3 years, I spent in Russia most times than any other countries.
Oh.
That's changed a lot.
So what would happen if Putin disappeared tomorrow? What would happen to Russia? It's such a big, complicated country, and it seems like whatever you think of Putin, he holds it together.
House. Any type of it will increase level of the uncertainty. Like in any system which is basically very centralized, and Russia became very centralized system in the last decade or so.
Yes.
So any unexpected changes only will increase chaos. So chaos, yes. So where exactly this increase of the chaos will lead, that is, again, very much depends of many other situations during this particular time. But I think it's a very bad scenario and I don't even want to think about it.
Oh, that bad. I mean, it seems that way as a total outsider if you have this the biggest country in the world with very complicated demographic mix and, a lot of different parts of the country that don't have that much in common with each other. It seems like with a lot of nuclear weapons, that could be bad for the world.
Chaos, it's in general, chaos, sorry.
Chaos.
Chaos, yeah. Chaos, it's a very dangerous weapon. So when this weapon apply, it's create instability in the system. When chaos was applied, let's say, in Afghanistan or in Iraq or in Yugoslavia 30 years ago, how long it took before stability was brought to the same places? So in situation like Russia, any type of the chaos, I don't think, firstly, system will be destroyed by the chaos. Because Russian people, Russian society already came through a very different period of time in the 90s, where it was a lot of chaos. And society received kind of the vaccination against, against this type of the disease.
They had chaos, they don't want it again.
Exactly. So that's why I'm pretty sure what will happen if more chaos will appear in the system. Our system will react with more centralization, with more concentration of the power, with less freedom. That's what will happen.
Yeah.
But is it good or bad? I think it's very bad for the Russia and very bad for the rest of the world. Because when system becoming more concentrated on defending itself, when it see dangers everywhere instead of the opportunities, even if dangers not exist, they will appear.
That's right.
And we will follow and we'll come to next conference.
That's exactly right.
A little bit late.
So what happens to Ukraine? Since you are, in some sense, in the agriculture business, and I know you know a lot about Ukraine. Do you have a Ukrainian parent?
My mother is Ukrainian.
Yes. So you're familiar with Ukraine. Zelensky has apparently, I heard from a Ukrainian 2 days ago, backed a new law that will allow foreigners to own property in Ukraine. It does feel like maybe the effect of this war is, foreign companies buying a lot of Ukrainian land and moving a new population in. Maybe that's just a dark guess. What do you think the future looks like for Ukraine?
It's a tragedy, what happens there. That's exactly the situation when country became a stage for competition with outside powers.
Right.
So that's exactly what should not happen with any other country. So that may happen. It was a chance that the same scenario could happen before in Georgia. Thank God it did not happen. It was possibility the same scenario could happen before in Belarus, probably in Kazakhstan. Now Armenia living through the most serious, on the period similar to this. So it's very dangerous when country becoming a competition ring between superpowers, between even regional power and global power. So that is what's happening there. So that's example which is very, very bad. And such example, unfortunately, exists not only in this ex-Soviet sphere. Such examples we can see elsewhere. So, for example, take the Horn of Africa.
Yeah.
So you see a conflict in the Sudan. So more people were killed or injured in Sudan than Ukraine and Gaza combined. How often do you speak about it?
Never.
That's a disturbing question, of course. So as soon as competition starting to happen like this, that's a most that's the worst scenario for any country to be in. So that is what happened with Ukraine. Hopefully, other countries will look an example and try to don't be there. That's why I think as a model, it's much more positive. It's model when country not trying to be one side or another side, not trying to find which house is better, to compete in the competition where they have nothing to gain. So I think the best way for such countries is try to find the balance and to be good with everyone. So that is, I think, much better way.
I want to ask you about climate and the response to climate change. So I live in a place that had glaciers 15,000 years ago, and it's very obvious from the landscape, as it is in many parts of the world. So from my perspective,